Hey everyone, I went into He-Man and the Masters of the Universe wondering, was this Mattel's answer to Barbie, making it 2026's big nostalgic toy movie for boys and men, reviving this universe-saving kids cartoon from the 1980s? While I had fun with this return of my favorite childhood cartoon, the more I thought about how the film treated Prince Adam, the more I realized that this movie may have accidentally created him as something like a male Mary Sue, which is something that audiences usually hate. So, why is Adam a male Mary Sue? And why does this film still stay kind of enjoyable? So, spoiler alert here. There will be some carefully chosen light spoilers so that I can talk about Prince Adam, He Man, and some of the plot issues in order to kind of justify this male Mary Sue point. Because, I mean, how often do you hear about a male Mary Sue? I think we got one here. All right, so let's get into it. And while you're here, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe because it really helps small channels like mine, especially movie review discussion channels. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. For all of my problems with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, it does have a lot of problems. It does do a lot of things right as well. So first, let's dig into those. This movie, it is not boring, and that kind of gets you a lot of street cred in the theater today. Throughout the movie, it remembers exactly what kind of toy box fantasy it is supposed to be. And when it leans into that, it is genuinely fun to watch. Visually, Eternia looks good, and Castle Grayskull looks creepy cool in the way that I would expect and want. The oversized sword of power feels like an object that belongs in this world, and the visual effects are just great. The two lead actors gave nice performances. Specifically, Nicholas Galitzine, and I hope I'm saying that right, is incredibly likable as Prince Adam. I mean, seriously, even when the script is not doing him any favors, you still like watching him. He is charming, he is sweet, and he's really easy on the camera, easy on the eyes, which is important because if Adam and He-Man were not likable, this movie would just collapse like a house of cards. Then there's Jared Leto, who gives Skeletor more personality than the plotting and dialogue deserve. Sadly, Skeletor is not written as a clever villain. And it's the way Leto leans into that theatrical weirdness of the character that saves him and makes it at least an entertaining character to watch on screen. And when I say he is not a clever character, I seriously mean that because there are a number of moments in the film when He-Man is fighting him or escaping from him that Skeletor really could have done something, to stop him, and he doesn't. And it just gets me because I'm sitting in the theater going, why doesn't he do X or Y? Like, it just didn't make sense. But still, that's the strange thing about this movie. There are so many pieces that are problematic, but there are still so many moments that it's really enjoyable, even when the larger construction just doesn't hold together. The jokes are mostly corny and the dialogue is often clunky or maybe just a little embarrassing. I mean, check Evelyn, seriously. Her dialogue is some of the worst, or maybe it's just the way she delivers it. Not good at all. And some of the emotional speeches, especially the ones from Duncan, feel like they came from an inspiration of the day calendar. Still, it taps the nostalgia buttons, making it fun to see this cartoon world splashed across the theater screen in laser light, especially for those of us who grew up watching He-Man and then making pretend stories about these characters while hanging out in our backyards with our friends or on the school playground. And I hope I'm not the only person who's ever done that because that could be a really embarrassing admission to make. My nostalgia biases me a little bit here, and I admit that. I am not entirely sure how the younger audience members will respond without the nostalgia to carry them through the rough patches. So when I say that this is a terrible film, but a fun film to watch, I really mean it because being fun is not the same thing as being well written. There's a difference there that really is key. That is the point that I think it's glossed over a lot lately. And once the initial enjoyment wears off, the problems with Prince Adam become much harder to ignore. The Barbie comparison matters as well because the first visual in this movie shows us the Mattel logo. And that immediately made me think about, what Mattel thinks it learned from Barbie's success in 2023. I don't think it's unfair to ask whether He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is being positioned by them as the other side of that same nostalgia-filled toy box. Barbie was the big toy movie for girls and women, although obviously not only for girls and women. He-Man feels like the big toy box movie for boys and men, although again, not only for men and boys. The difference is that Barbie used that nostalgia to ask some real questions about identity. Margot Robbie's Barbie had to break out of the box someone else built for her, while Ryan Gosling's Ken had to figure out who he was if he wasn't Barbie's wannabe boyfriend. That movie was as silly, bright, and ridiculous as He-Man is, but it understood that toys become interesting as story characters when they are written as people with agency. That is where He-Man gets frustrating because Adam also has an identity problem. He is Prince Adam, Earth Adam, He-Man. However, instead of building that journey so that we see him progress from a weak, unskilled fighter into He-Man, the movie keeps giving him power and authority that he really never earns. And that makes the comparison to Barbie much less flattering. This all leads to Prince Adam's Mary Sue problem. He-Man is supposed to be powerful, and I am completely fine with that. I love this character. The issue is that this version of Adam never earns his strength or skill as a warrior. He-Man is meant to be the best warrior in the universe. He's like the champion of Eternia, someone strong and confident and kind and thoughtful. Prince Adam nails the soft skills here, but the rest is bestowed on him with very little effort for his part. And that's what makes him start to feel like a male Mary Sue. As a child, Adam is sweet and kind, but he's also pretty weak. He's not skilled. He keeps getting beat up by the other kids. And Teela, Duncan's daughter, who's also his friend, has to defend him. And even his father looks at him with embarrassment and disappointment. That setup works because it gives Adam so much space to grow. The problem is what happens after he gets stranded on Earth, where he spends 15 years hoping to find a way back to Eternia. But what does he actually do to prepare once he gets there? Not much. During that time, he searches online for the sword without really talking to any experts, without making any phone calls or doing any research or, hitting the pavement. And you just don't see that. He doesn't do much beyond hitting Google and maybe posting a couple of pictures online. He also draws pictures of people from Eternia and talks about his home with anyone who will listen as if it's real. And that kind of makes him look a little bit crazy and shows very little ability to read the room, Adam, or decide when and where to share his truth. On Earth, he is an excellent human resources employee who is good at empathy and communication and de-escalation. Those are meaningful leadership skills for a prince, for sure, but he shows almost no strategic instincts or planning ability. He also does not work out or train at all. There is a gym scene, but he can barely pick up a small barbell for these arm curls. The result is a character with no physical discipline, no mental strategy, and only a partial set of leadership skills. Those aren't great building blocks for He-Man. It is only after he calls on the power of Grayskull that he can suddenly fight and block moves and attack and move like a warrior and stand against enemies and stand next to allies who have spent their lives in combat. That's the definition of a Mary Sue because he does not earn those victories. The sorceress chose him as her vessel, and she put that power into him. You could argue that he earns it by finding the sword, but you know what? Someone else found the sword. Some guy in a comic book shop finds the sword and tells him about it. He just shows up to get it. And then even then, Adam struggles to pull the sword out of the plastic hand of the creature holding onto it. None of this shows Adam taking meaningful steps to learn how to fight or lead or anything of that nature when he returns to Eternia to reclaim his home. If he had done any of these things as Earth Adam, that would have carried over to Prince Adam as the leader. And then when he called on the power of Grayskull, the power would have complemented his abilities rather than replacing his utter lack of skill and training. This is where the double standard, even from me, sadly, becomes hard to ignore. This is not a well-crafted movie. This is not a well-crafted character, even if it was enjoyable to watch He-Man on screen. The thing is, if this same story belonged to a female hero, and I and most reviewers, we would be critiquing it for having a flat character with unearned success. Just think about it. Imagine a woman from a magical world who spends 15 years never training to become more physically or strategically capable. And then voila, she says the magic words and she's suddenly a smoking hot, brilliant fighter with strength and instincts to defeat lifelong warriors. I honestly cannot think of a clearer case of Mary Sue-itis. He has the same character features. The audience is criticizing characters like Rey Palpatine-Skywalker. And while I am not here to relitigate the Skywalker saga debacle, the comparison still matters. If our standard is that heroes should earn their abilities, then Adam needs to be measured by that same standard. Imagine if the story was about a powerful but gentle man who learns that kindness and physical power don't have to be opposites. There are some amazing examples of men who fall into this category, such as Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings, or Steve Rogers, who might be the closest fit to Prince Adam in this comparison, when Steve Rogers kind of steps into his role as Captain America. He-Man has the potential to be a brilliant origin story for an incredible alpha male role model in the cinemas, but it doesn't actually connect. This would have also resonated with one of the best lines and strongest themes in the movie that comes from Duncan's lesson to young Prince Adam, that he protects Adam as the adult so that when Adam grows up, Adam can protect him. And that's exactly what happens here. That plays out. It also resonates with the old protect the young and the young protect the old theme within Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. So where does all of this ambiguity land when it comes to whether this film is a fit for you? For me, this is one of those crystal clear cases where enjoyment and quality are not the same thing. You can have fun watching a bad movie. You can dislike a well-made movie. So it really comes down to how much weak character development and plot logic bother you, and how far big action and visual spectacle can carry you through a film when you're dealing with some big character and plot problems. Nostalgic fans are likely to enjoy He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in much the same way as we enjoyed the 2023 animated Super Mario Brothers movie. I did enjoy it in many ways for sure, but I wish I had not given my money to the studio for this film. I don't want them to produce more films like this. I just don't want more of the same. So unless you really love action and VFX spectacle on the big screen, you might want to skip it and just wait for streaming. The one caveat is that even though the script is weak, I do think that this could be a really great opportunity for dads and sons to have a really nice time at the movies together. And sometimes that's all that really matters. So, He-Man, what did you guys think of it? Have you seen it yet? Are you planning to see it? Are you waiting? If you did see it, do you think Adam earned his skills? Or is he the rare male Mary Sue that we just don't see in the wild that often? Okay, if this was helpful to you, please do give this review a thumbs up and subscribe for more, because there are definitely more videos coming. And It also helps the algorithm find other people like you and me who just like talking about movies together. All right, that's it for now, guys. While you're here, why not check out one of these other reviews? And I'll see you all again soon. In the meantime, happy viewing. Bye for now.